Well, good afternoon to you, CMCQ family. I want to take this opportunity to, I asked Domingo to help me record this video. So when you see this, you'll know it's not my handiwork. It's Domingo's handiwork. But we are getting ready to go through a transition in our church. And it's a very, very positive transition. You know, often when you hear the word transition, you think about something that's negative. But this is going to be a really positive transition. We are preparing ourselves to determine where we are going to go as a church. And the first step in that is we want to discover what are the core values of our church. What are our present actual values as a church? And I want to define for you very quickly what I mean by core values. Core values are the constant, passionate, biblical core beliefs that go deep and really, really, truly empower and guide your ministry. Core values actually explain why we do what we do and why we don't do what we should do. Did you hear that? Core values are, it explains why we do what we do and why we don't do what we should do. Just as personal core values speak to what is most important in our lives, so our church core values speak to what is most important in the life of our church here at CEMCQ. Our congregational values are the invisible motivators that move us towards meaningful ministry. There are these invisible motivators that are underneath everything that we do. There's a value, there's a core value, and that motivates us to move in certain directions. Some of these things are not even things that we are aware of. So part of my task right now is to help us as a church to determine what some of these core values are and to help us bring them out from being in the shadows to being in the bright lights, so we can know what is it that motivates us as a ministry. So we are going to be sending out with this video, we're going to be sending out a survey of core values. Now, as soon as people see this survey, sometimes what we do is we want to cast the most positive light on our church. This is not a survey to determine whether or not our church is positive or negative. This is a survey to help us discover and determine what are our actual core values. What is it that motivates us to do what we do, and what is it that motivates us to not do what we should do? And that's often hidden. So we want to bring that out to the surface, and this exercise, this survey, is for that purpose. Now, I've already had the deacons and our elders do the survey, and we had some intense discussion about that, some very helpful discussion. So what I want to ask you to do is, when you get this survey, please make sure that when you get it, that you actually understand that we're not looking for aspirational values. We're not looking for values that we aspire to have it. We are looking to values that we actually have right now. And then when we are able to discover that and we collate all of the results, then we'll compare it to what the elders and deacons came up with, and we will have a little bit better consensus of who we are as a church right now, our core values, not what we aspire to be. We might aspire to be a church that has a creative arts, a full creative arts ministry, but that's not what we have right now. So I want to encourage you to be as honest as you can be, and not be overly positive. We need to complete this exercise and pray over it and see what are the values that motivate us right now and what values are missing, so that we can begin to add those values to our mission and vision statement. And when we come up with a strategy of how to implement all of this in prayer, we'll know what it is that we need to add to our value statement. All right, so I hope when you receive this video that you'll watch it and you'll think about it once again. Core values explain why we do what we do and why we don't do what we should do. So, complete it and send it back to us. You can send it back to us by mail. You can make a copy of it and complete it, stick it in the mailbox here at the church building, or you can scan it and email it back to us. Whichever option you choose, just do your best to complete it and send it back to us within a week. We really appreciate it. And while you're doing this, keep us in prayer. This is a really, really wonderful time for us to pray and to believe God that He's going to direct us and help us to grow His church. Amen.